Danse, Oki, Bonjour, hello everybody. Welcome to another fabulous Tuesday. It's been rather smoky, so I'm a little wheezy, but it's nice to kind of be online. I've been outside quite a bit, so it's been a warm day. But yeah, I hope everybody is doing well. It's been a very hectic week, and you'll see one side of my screen glitching out. I'm using Zoom with a virtual green screen background because we're still not completely unpacked, and I don't have really my office area set up as of yet. And so I have a couple of green panels blocking my mess. So this is just so you guys don't see my mess. But the only way that I could get that to work was with the Zoom virtual background, which is why it kind of looks funky town. But yeah, I just wanted to welcome everybody today into the circle, and thank you so much for joining me for another fabulous Tuesday. My name is Chantal Chagnon. I am Cree, Anishinaabe, and Métis from Muskeg Lake Cree Nation in Saskatchewan, which is in Treaty 6 territory. And it's actually not too far from Saskatoon, pretty close to Leask. There's a tiny town called Blaine Lake, and it's actually right beside there. Our reserve actually had a really good working relationship with that particular town, Blaine Lake, and a little bit of the history of that town is actually it was for Ukrainian refugees. There was a religious group of Ukrainians that were actually chased out of the Ukraine, and they moved to Blaine Lake so that they could practice their religion, without prejudice, without judgment, and without persecution. And so they moved there to Blaine Lake, but of course they didn't know how to live on the land, and so they learned from the First Nations people who were there, and so we had very strong ties to Blaine Lake. And it's quite interesting because it's a very, very small town, but we were I was actually at a couple different events where I was drumming and singing and sharing. And when I mentioned, Muskeg, and then I mentioned Blaine Lake, there was a couple of people like, we're from Blaine Lake. And considering it's so small, it's really interesting how we can cross paths like that. Sorry, I'm just prepping my sage right now. But yeah, I always say that everything happens for a reason. And sometimes we never know what that is right away, but it will happen. I need to... This is very, very seedy. Somebody had gifted me this. There's a lot of seeds in it, though, so I don't want to use all of that. I'm going to try and bury my seeds, and maybe someday the sage will grow for me. But I just wanted to start by acknowledging the land upon which I stand. So even though I'm from Treaty 6 territory, I'm from Muskeg Lake, I live here in Mohkinstsis now, which is Treaty 7 territory, better known as Calgary. And I have lived here off and on for a little over 20 years, and it's really just, it's become my home. I love it here. I love the city itself. I love the people. I love the elders here. The incredible work that's being done here. Sorry, I had to eat really fast. It's been a busy day. But I'm just really always thankful and humbled to be on the land. And I've learned so much from the different elders, from the knowledge keepers, and so I always think it's really, really important to start with that sense of place, that sense of community, and that sense of connection, which has brought us here. And so I acknowledge the Blackfoot of Siksika, Kainai, and Pagani. I acknowledge the Sarsi Dene from Tsutsuna, and the Stoney Nakoda from Morley, which includes Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. We're also walking in the footsteps of Métis Region 3, which is why I proudly wear my Métis sash to act as that bridge between Indigenous and non-Indigenous culture. And when we acknowledge the land, we're actually acknowledging far more than that. We're acknowledging the history that has been here for thousands upon thousands of generations. I'm noticing that one of my live streams isn't working, and I'm wondering which one it is. Let me check if it's the Facebook, because if it's the Facebook, then I'm going to have to do something to fix that. Oops, am I? Yes, it is the Facebook that's not working. All right. You're going to have to give me half a moment here, and then I'm going to restart and just continue on my path.